fellow collector, Shuki here with a review of the Kamen Rider Build DX Hazard Trigger. So this is a really cool device that turns Build into this monstrous looking thing. He looks very evil and he goes crazy and it's really fun to watch. Episode 21 was absolutely amazing, so if you haven't caught up on the show, please do because it's great. But better looking shot of the suit right there. This is Rabbit Tank Hazard form. He has all sorts of other ones as well. Smarfo Wolf is right up here, actually. And Hawk Gatling is supposed to be in episode 22. So really cool. It doesn't really change the sounds in this or anything like that, or the functionality for that matter. It's all just very cosmetic in the show. But really cool. This was released in February 2018 for about 2,300 yen or so, give or take, depending on when and where you picked it up. But really neat toy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it open and take a look. On its own, it's a pretty simple toy. More or less just a big red brick. Obviously a lot smaller than it is in the show. The handle is pretty tiny. As you can see, there is a QR code on the back if anyone needs that. But pretty simple. No on and off switch or anything like that. It just does take LR44 batteries that were included. But there's this little compartment right here should you need to replace them. But yeah, that's actually it. It doesn't really do anything on its own that's noteworthy. So let's go ahead and jump into the sounds. You go ahead and flip that down. No sounds or anything associated, but it is a fun little activity. Press the button once. And that'll be the activation sound, and then there's also I think that just kind of like goes on forever. So that's it for the base functions of this. Let's go ahead and bring in our build driver. And here we go. So the hazard trigger is going to line up in this little portion right up here that I showed off in the actual build driver review. One thing you're going to want to make note of is make sure the little peg in there that you probably can't see right there, that peg right there, make sure that's down. So get your build driver in a position to where that is down. Otherwise, it will prematurely hit the button and then it'll throw the whole transformation off. So make sure that peg is down. But here we go. So that's actually really funny. The combos usually go yeah at the end, but this one says yabe, which is basically like a no. That's the accessed hazard form instead, and that's dangerous and all that. So it's a nice little pun on the yeah that the build driver usually goes with. But really cool. I like the silhouette of this. It's pretty neat. This does have a little dial thingy that moves as you crank the handle. So that's pretty neat as well. So time for a attack. At least we get a new attack sound. I do wish this was a little bit louder. The build driver is very loud, and this is kind of a little bit more quiet of a toy. So the vocal patterns don't match completely, and that's a little bit of a bummer, but not a huge deal. Now this also has the max hazard option, and that's basically when Sento goes super nuts. So now he's in what the instructions call Overflow Mode, which is, again, super nuts. But this does have a different attack option. And that is that. So taken out. Very, very simple. Let's go ahead and just to prove that it doesn't really matter what you put in here, let's go ahead and do Smartphone Wolves. So that was an example. I don't know if you heard it, because this is so much louder than this, but that's an example of inserting it with that peg up, because it just went straight into the hazard transformation, which is not what we wanted to happen. So, let's try again. There you go. No different whatsoever. The only difference is what that looks like. And really the only difference between the hazard forms are his eyes. So I guess that actually makes sense. But that about does it for the hazard trigger. Pretty cool. I do like the sounds. I do like the phrases. Got some pretty sick beats to it. A lot of things in the build line actually have some pretty sick beats. I like it a lot. And it does make the build driver head a pretty cool silhouette. It kind of looks like a weird like bird head, to be honest. But hey, it's just me. It is a really cool toy, and the function in the show is really pushing the plot along, and I love it a ton. Again, if you haven't checked out Build in full, definitely recommend catching up. Super cool show. But that about does it for this review. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, and have a great one. Bye. I'd like to thank Joey, Mr. Mike, Joshua, and all my fans who support me on Patreon.